Planet Dolan. From ignoring a toddler who was run over by a van to people refusing to help drowning boys, we look at 7 infuriating times when people didn't help. How's it going? I'm Danger Dolan. I'm here to decipher some random things I found on the internet the other day that I think you might be interested in.
Number 7.
A girl in Chicago was riding the train one morning, as you do, when 2 people began to viciously beat her. Turns out all they wanted was her cell phone, yet they seemed to concentrate more on just beating the crap out of her. The 19-year-old college student later said there were 2 male passengers who stood by and did nothing. Luckily, the couple, a man and a woman, got off the train at the next stop before the girl sustained any more injuries. At least the couple never got her cell phone.
Number 6.
Riding his tricycle on the Jinghao Yangshan Bridge in China, an elderly gentleman fell in the middle of the street. Several people went by, and several people noticed, but not a single one stopped to help. Some people did stop, but decided to watch instead of help the man, who was bleeding above his eye and couldn't move. He was in the middle of the street for 15 minutes before an ambulance finally came and picked him up. The reason the bystanders gave for not helping the poor man was because they feared being blamed for the incident and possibly facing repercussions from the man's family.
Oh, but it might affect my day. It might affect my day. Never mind this guy who's fucking dying in the middle of the street.
Number 5.
A woman in Paris was using the ATM when she was robbed by 2 women in broad daylight. It was around lunchtime and there were many people walking by, and not one person stopped to help her. The woman did her best to protect herself and her money, but to no avail. She grabbed one of the thieves by the shirt and wouldn't let go as they, after successfully stealing the money, began to just walk away casually. It caused quite a scene, with a few people, what appears to be a businessman and 2 street workers, stopped to watch, but nobody did anything. Thanks to the bad Samaritans, the thieves ended up walking away a little richer.
Number 4.
Wang Yu, a 2-year-old in China, was run over by a white van. The van didn't stop after the accident. A little girl lay in the middle of the road dying of her injuries and all alone. I'm surprised she's not lying next to an old man, because apparently that's the cool thing to see happen. But actually Wang wasn't all alone. At least 18 people passed by, ignoring the toddler who was in desperate need of help. The 19th person, a grandmother, stopped and pulled the girl to safety. But it was too late. Wang passed away shortly after she was rescued by the woman.
Number 3.
Early one morning, Esmond Green collapsed onto the floor and began to convulse for several minutes before dying. All of this happened in the waiting room of a psychiatric hospital in Brooklyn. During the entire ordeal, none of the hospital staff rushed to help. It was nearly half an hour later when hospital staff finally went to help her, but by then it was far too late. Instead of bending over to check to see whether the woman was dead or just lying unconscious, the staff member nudged the woman's body with her foot. Later on, the hospital even falsified Esmond's records as an attempt to cover their tracks. Doctoring Esmond's records didn't work, and many of the hospital's employees were either suspended or fired. And hopefully one of them was left in the middle of the fucking street to die while 18 people walked past. Dude!
Number 2.
When 3 college students in China saw 2 young boys drowning in a river, they took action and saved them. But then the college students started to drown. There happened to be a fishing boat near them. When these students screamed for help, did the men on the boat help? Nah, it didn't even throw the students life preservers. They just let the preservers hang around in their boat. What are these yellow round things? I don't know, I've never used one. No matter how much the students pleaded, the men would not rescue them. The men said they don't rescue drowning people. Oh, I'm sorry. Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. We, as a general rule, tend to not help drowning people. They shouldn't have been in the water in the first place. How dare they? In fact, they made it worse by saying that they only pull out dead bodies, because when they pull out dead bodies, there's money in it. So they'd rather just wait for these students to just die. Fuck using the life preservers. Fuck them and their screaming. How dare they be in water? How dare they taint our water with their existence? The men in the boat did pull out the bodies of the 3 students once their fee had been paid. Okay, I take back what I said in the last story. Instead of the hospital staff being thrown into the middle of traffic, these fuckheads should be in the middle of traffic. I'll hire the van driver that killed that 2-year-old to run over these cunts.
Number 1.
A mentally challenged man was taunted and assaulted by 3 boys. He was thrown to the ground, kicked and punched, all while crying and pleading for them to leave him alone. There was a large group of teenagers watching the assault, but nobody did anything to stop it. Some were even taking pictures on their cell phone. Some were laughing and mocking the poor man as he kept asking, "What I do?" One bystander yelled at the man to fight back, while a girl said, "You guys are mean to him." There was no other kind of intervention. The boys responsible for the assault were later arrested and charged with offensive touching, assault on a vulnerable adult, 3rd-degree conspiracy, and being total douchebags. So guys, what's a time that people refuse to help you? It could be something small that you were doing. Maybe you're making a sandwich and you asked someone, "Hey, could you pass the cheese?" And they were like, "No, I'd rather wait for you to die of malnutrition so I can collect the reward for your dead body." Did that happen to you guys? Let us know on the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown. That's it for this countdown, and have a good one!
His goddamn high school reunion. Obviously, he was hoping to hook up with his old high school sweetheart, but instead he'd be hooking up with a guy named Big Jim in prison. And he'd probably go like this: "Big Jim's gonna give you that little big slim, and you gonna like it."